What is up? Let's jump straight into it. We're going to talk about how Veed, one of the most successful bootstrap startups that I've come across, have scaled to almost 4 million ARR. That's $4 million a year in just a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3. They're video editing software, and let's dive straight into how they've done this. 11 things that you need to know if you want to achieve the same growth. What is Veed? Veed is basically nothing to do with the drug. It is a video editing software. Last week I did a video about Canva and how Canva became a successful $40 billion business and the growth strategies. You can check out the video, there's be a link somewhere here. This week it's about how Veed is the Canva for video editing. What Canva does really well, Veed also does extremely well as well. And there's a lot of things you can pick up from this playbook. We're going to talk about those 11 strategies like I said, and how you can build a successful business in a similar format around, if you want, in a similar online editing space, or use that concept and extrapolate it to your own. Alright, so first point is they were absolutely obsessed about customer interviews and onboarding. That's what they did from the start till the end. When they kicked off their product, they were quite vocal in saying that their product's not complete, in the sense that they've got features that other competitors might have significant amounts more. However, they're willing to learn and focus on the most important pieces people are looking to have solved. This is one thing people tend to forget when they're trying to build new startups, is they want to do at least at minimum what the competition does. And that's good. If the persona that you're targeting is the exact as your competitor, which it might be, then yes, look at least meeting what your competitor does. Otherwise, if you're trying to find a gap, which is probably the best way for you to build a product to stand out from what your competitor is not doing, is to try solve for that gap immediately first, which means jumping on calls, speaking to customers, doing interviews with them to understand why they have signed up to your product, even if it's not per se complete. This can be done in a very easy way. Your first email that you send out to them as soon as they sign up, in the onboarding video, walk them through the product, explain that you've built a fantastic solution, share a bit of your story, and then ask them for a one-on-one onboarding call with the founder and say that you will make their experience significantly better. It's not just about getting them on a call, it's about ensuring that they get the value as well with the call, which is whatever they're trying to achieve. So just FYI, that's something you should look at. They drove emotional stories. Even in their onboarding campaign, they would actually have a subject line that says they spent $80,000 of their own money building Veed to the level that it is when they saw their friends and family buying homes at the same age for the deposits, etc. This drives and keeps a deep emotional connection with the end consumer, because oftentimes businesses are metricized. That means when I as a consumer sign up to a business, I'm signing up to the business but not the founder's vision. They humanize this aspect, saying we're just like you. We're exactly who you are, and what we're doing is pretty much going ahead and sharing with you our journey of why we're doing this and how we want to make your life better. That almost feels like you're creating a level of trust and reciprocity requirement. You're making them indebted to you by telling your story to them, saying that, look, I could have bought a house, but I'm building this for you instead. And then what they would do at the bottom of an emotional driven message is they would write a simple call to action saying, why did you sign up to me? And that is an important thing for you to find out when you're building your business. It's important for you to know why someone signed up to you in whatever they've done, whatever research they've done. It's important to understand emotional triggers, vocal triggers, semantic triggers, figure out why they're signing up to your product, because then you can find out who is signing up, and B, the reason they're signing up, and find that that overlap in the Venn diagram, and then focus on building a software solution that solves that, or digital product solution, or e-commerce product, whatever it may be. Alright, the third point you need to know about what Veed did and what you can do is focus on creating viral posts. Now, there is no science to virality. However, there is a way you can emanate it or reduce the chances of failure for virality. One of the things they did again is share a lot of their stories on viral sites or forum sites like Reddit, indiehackers, growth hackers, as well as other forums that have appealed to that online community of video designers. And one of the more popular ones was their Hacker News post. The Hacker News post absolutely blew up about how they got rejected by YC, and they used that chip that they had and spoke about how they got rejected by YC. However, in a couple of minutes, hours, or days after getting rejected, they started getting tons of paying customers, and they explained how they did that. This is something, if you don't have a story as exciting as that, you can definitely work out a story that works in a similar sense and try appeal to the audience that you're pitching to. So let's say you're trying to pitch to Hacker News. Talk about the technical capabilities or how you solve for this particular problem. You're selling to the Reddit audience. audience, they want to have a feel-good story. If you're selling to growth hackers, you want to add a bit of a marketing hack story. If you're selling to indie hackers, you want to add a bootstrapper story. So when you're pitching to the particular forum, pitch to the intent with which someone comes to a forum. And you can do this again and again and again. That's the one thing you need to understand with Veed's growth strategy, which was honestly so good. They said launching is not a one-time thing. Launching is an everyday thing. They launched almost every day on product, every week on product hunt, every week, every day on different forums. And that's what you need to understand with launching. It's not a one big wahoo thing that you do. You need to consistently, continuously launch and keep launching new products, features, as well as share with the world what you're doing. The fourth point is they wrote a lot about relevant content. Now, Veed is a video editing software. Instead of going into the nitty-gritty of how you can work through nits or pixel ratios, etc., no, they spoke about real-life problems customers face when they come and look for a solution like this. How to edit a YouTube video, how to create a captivating Instagram post, how to create a TikTok video. These are the things that are relevant, and this is something you need to focus on when you're creating content, is focus on the outcome of why someone's coming to you. Which is what I said in my previous video with the kind of video, if you haven't watched it, watch it, is keyword stuffing is good to some extent when you're trying to create content. However, intent is the most important part when you're trying to create engaging content. No one wants to figure out the right pixel ratio. Maybe they do, but a large amount of people want to work out what is the right pixel ratio for Facebook ads or for a Facebook post. So attack those particular points and you'll have a much better distribution engine when you're trying to go ahead and create content. Oh, by the way, to the previous point, they did something really well, which a lot of brands should do but don't, is called brand jacking. What brand jacking essentially means is leveraging another well-known brand's reputation and writing how-to guides on theirs so you can go ahead and drive some traffic. So what Veed would do is actually go ahead and say how to make edits on iMovie, which is a direct competitor to this. But what they did was, by creating that, while solving for iMovie's pain points, they would really elaborate on how painful it was to edit an iMovie and then subtly just mention how easy it is to go ahead and do Veed. This is something you can really do, either to latch on to direct competitor if you want, or latch on to an integrative solution. Another example would be if you're accounting or finance-based product, you're not competing with the likes of Xero or QuickBooks, but you integrate with them. So what you can do is write articles on how to integrate Xero with an XYZ situation, with your Google Sheets, with this, or how to download CSV out of your Xero if it's in line with what your product does. That is a great way because people know Xero. They don't know your brand yet. So you want to leverage another person's brand and then siphon your articles in there to target niche keywords or basically a search phrase that Xero or QuickBooks and we just don't want to target because it's not that important for them. Point number 5, which you need to look at, and a lot of people put through, is customer support. And I never got this myself first when I got into startup space a couple of years ago, but customer support growth is one of the best ways to acquire customers. In fact, our own startup, SmartWriter.ai, check it out, by the way, AI personalized cold emailing. If you're trying to do any outreach, want to close a deal, check this out. It is going to help you make a positive ROI, make more money. Anyway, pitch done. What it does is it ensures your customers feel supported towards the problem they're trying to solve. There's some Facebook posts where I see where people are jumping straight from one competitor to the other because the customer support is just horrid or really bad. Customer support based growth is a very true thing and is one of the best ways to grow, because someone leaves a 5-star review, says, oh wow, I just got a response with this person in 4 minutes, they solved my problem, it was a fantastic solution. When I'm trying to make a decision with a product and I say that, okay, company A took 10 hours to solve my problem, the company B took 15 minutes, there's a higher chance I'm going to do company B because I know they're more responsive and more reactive. And as human beings, we want to feel like we are the center of attention, and therefore if we get high customer support time or low customer support time, a higher chance we'll actually get a consumer to then go ahead and convert to sign up to us. Point number 6, which is probably the most important point, but I put it in the middle just so that we have something over here for you, is interactive SEO tools. Veed's success, in my opinion, was their interactive tools. They have created full-fledged products on their website as a freemium solution to drive traffic in, like whether it's editing a video, converting a video, clipping a video, trimming a video, subtitles to a video, whatever you want to call it, while other people writing long form SEO articles, which is fine. What they did was, boom, smashed a straight tool, a free tool into the website, which gave people a feel of how the product works, and then use that as a top of funnel way to lash them into the core product and get them to convert. That is something, if you can do, is going to be an absolute goldmine, because the barrier to entry is absolutely higher, because it's not just writing a bunch of words, but you actually need to to calculatively build something that people can use. Point number 7 is very similar to point number 6, but it's important because just instead of creating randomized tools, like I said, is they took a high intent keyword, a difficult keyword or an important keyword, but instead of serving what they saw their competition serve or other people serve, which was blogs and content, is they served solutions, which was in the end what people always come when they're searching for something. So if I'm typing in how to convert a video from MP3 to MP4, sure, I want to know how to convert it, but if you're going to offer me a tool right over there for free to upload a video, converting and download it, of course I want to spend more time on that video, on that software. And what this does, what you need to understand on a deeper format with Google is, to Google, they want to serve to their consumer the best outcome. So if I go and click on this particular link, which is like maybe even 7th, I go there and then I spend 2 hours or 15 minutes or whatever, an absorbent amount of time solving for my problem. In that, to Google, it signals like, oh wow, this website is doing some incredible thing, because whenever someone comes here, there might be only a few people clicking, but when they come here, they're staying for an incredibly long time period. And time to value, the length time that someone spends on a particular website, I'm forgetting the term, as well as the reduced bounce rate, to Google signals that yes, this is a very relevant web page for the term people are searching for, and then starts ranking you higher. One of the most amazing concepts I learned from Veed's code was what I call premature or top of funnel advertising. That means they found out the intent of the customer in arenas where they were actually facing a problem. And what this really shows is the importance of understanding your customer's intention, which is on the first 3 to 4 points. What Veed would do is they understood that a lot of their customers would want to edit YouTube videos. And guess what? There's a lot of websites that help you download YouTube videos. Right, there's YouTube downloader, Kiss YouTube, or whatever it is. So they would run extremely cheap ads because not many people are just running ads there. It's a YouTube downloader. You know what exactly you have to go. So Veed would run an ad right on a YouTube downloader site saying, look, you're going to download this video. Great, come back to us and edit the video you're just about to download, because you're not just going to download it for the sake of sharing it. You can share it with our YouTube. You're downloading it to edit it. So use our software. It's cheap, it's free, it's extremely easy to use. So try find a gap in your particular business model where if your customer is ready to buy, go 3 steps before. Understand what brings them to the intent of even understanding the problem they're going to face. Right? So understand if someone wants to go ahead and make a purchase in your particular solution, what even brought them to the decision of making a purchase in your solution to begin with. In this case, it was the YouTube video downloader. Point number 9, and this is very similar to Canva, which is one of the easiest and most predictable ways Canva grew, was their freemium model. It was aggressively free. Till this date, like I barely pay for Canva because there's so much free stuff they give, and that's probably been their biggest growth lever, and they've owned up to it as being one of the biggest growth levers. Veed similarly has a very healthy freemium plan, and the only thing they ask for in return is you can use our app for free, but we're going to watermark your app. What this does is it introduces user-generated content. I download a video, or whoever I am, and I don't want to pay for it for whatever reason, and then I upload that into my social media profiles or my distribution channels, and then everyone who sees that video then sees the watermark of Veed and eventually wants to find out what it is, creates brand impressions. So user generated content, if you can go and create a freemium business model and then eventually use your customers who want to use the freemium model to spread your product as a capital return of using your product for free, it's a fantastic way for you to go ahead and acquire some great users. Point number 10 is not a growth point, but is an important point for you to figure out. As I mentioned before, Veed got rejected by YC. They got rejected by YC because of whatever reason, and then just a couple of moments later, because they had some free traffic, turned paid at like a paid model on and started getting paying customers. They went and rushed back to YC saying, hey, look, we're getting some paying customers, what do you think? But still got rejected. However, Veed has gone on in just 2 and a bit years to do 4 million in ARR. Like I said at the start of the video, 4 million is not a small number for pretty much most SaaS businesses to achieve, which I don't think most SaaS businesses achieve ever, even if they got 100 million in their funding. But Veed's done that in a bootstrapped way. This is important because everyone loves a zero to hero story. They were rejected by YC. There were 2 founders who were, put in all their money to make a business, and now they're running a 4 million a year business. That is a fantastic feel-good story that everyone wants and loves. What you need to do is, this might not be your, hero story, but you need to find a story that emanates with your audience in some format or the other, about how maybe you quit a job to start a business, or how you failed multiple businesses and this one is finally taking off, working well for you. Build an emotional connection with your users. I do agree that customers come to you because of a problem you solve, and they stay because of how good you solve the problem. But some of the other reasons people do come is because they emanate with you. I can tell you for a fact that with SmartWriter, I'm supporting the chat myself, even as a founder, and I get so many messages from people saying, I really want to support you. I love what you push out on the world, your content, your growth advice, your engineering product principles, and I want to support whichever way I can. Now, that's not always a positive thing, because you want them to stay because the product's good, not because of you. And don't get me wrong, that's what they're actually doing. They're just trying to show to you that they are supporting you. They love your product. There's competition out there, but they're supporting you because they resonate with you. So you need to build a resonated story. And that's how Richard Branson built his brand, right? He was the excited, energetic founder, and a lot of people resonated with Virgin because they wanted to feel the same way. The last, but probably just as much an important point, is I want to talk about their Twitter following. A lot of people use follower onlines, or I forgot English. A lot of people use online followers as a crutch to say that they might not succeed. They think that other people have distribution sort of set in, baked in, because they've got an audience. And don't get me wrong, that's probably true in that they have a very strong audience and have a high chance of success. But that does not mean there's no way for you to succeed. Now, the founders of veed are healthy. They've got good following, but I'm not saying they've got 150,000 or 200,000 Twitter followers or Facebook followers or YouTube's followers. They've got a healthy amount of followers that a normal person would have who's building a business. Like I said, not the crazy influence of 400,000, but a decent number. Now, that was not what stopped them. They still grew their brands and business. And I'm saying this point, which might be the most important point you want to take away from this video, is don't use things like follower counts to stop you or discourage you from building a business just because you might not have that. There are other ways to grow. There's influencer marketing, there's paid ads, there's SEO, which is the biggest proponent of it. Just takes a bit of time. There's distributed UCG content. There's a freemium business model. There's basically people just give you some fun shout outs. There's doing PPC ads. There's so many ways you can grow your business without necessarily using follower count as a crutch. You can leverage other people's brands to then grow your own brand, which is influencer marketing. So that's it. That's all for this video. Watch out for the next one, because it's going to be just as exciting. And yes, if you've liked this, I'd love for you to like, subscribe, share this so that other people get the joy of learning how veed became such a successful business. Thanks, and see you soon.